Hey there everybody, welcome back to my YouTube channel. So picture this, you land your first major TV role. You're starring in a weird little sci-fi show about aliens and government conspiracies, and then you get pregnant. And the studio? Well, they want to replace you. Yeah, today we're going to talk about how Gillian Anderson, a literal unknown at the time, almost got kicked off the X-Files right as it was taking off, and how her pregnancy ended up changing the series forever. Let's get into it. Okay, so let's jump back to 1993. The X-Files is about to premiere on Fox, a network still trying to figure out who it wants to be. It's got some animated shows, some cop dramas, and now this spooky little genre experiment from a guy named Chris Carter. Fox gives it a shot, but they're nervous. Sci-Fi doesn't have a great track record on network TV at this point. The studio wants movie star energy, and their idea of casting Scully? Well, they were thinking tall, blonde, Baywatch type of vibes. But Carter had a different vision. He wanted credibility. He wanted someone who felt like a real FBI agent, a scientist, a skeptic, someone grounded. And when Gillian Anderson auditioned, he knew she really was Scully. The studio hated it, but Carter stuck to his gut. Now keep in mind, Gillian Anderson was a total unknown. No big TV credits. She had done some stage work in New York, some small indie films, some commercials, that's about it. But what she did have was presence. She could go toe-to-toe with Duchovny, who had this sleepy charisma, and she brought this sharp, clinical confidence that made Scully feel real, not just a sidekick, a true co-lead. They shot the pilot and suddenly, it worked. The Mulder-Scully dynamic clicked. The network reluctantly said, "Fine, she stays." But here's the twist. Just a few episodes into filming season 1, Gillian Anderson finds out she's pregnant. And this is where things get a little dicey. The Fox execs, already nervous about the show's slow ratings and weird tone, well, they freaked out. You have to remember, this is 1993. Pregnant women weren't often written into serialized dramas. There was no blueprint for, how do we shoot around this without losing our lead actress? The studio floated replacing her. Just write her out. Bring in a new female agent. Make it a rotating partner type of thing. Well, Chris Carter, once again, he put his foot down. He says no, absolutely not, we're not doing that. She is Scully. We'll figure out a way to make this work. And the decision, well, it changes the course of the entire show. The writers get creative. They shuffle shooting schedules, they restructure scripts, and most importantly, they write Scully out of several episodes midway through season 2 using an alien abduction storyline. This wasn't some grand mythology master plan. It was a necessity, but it gave the show a massive emotional jolt. The Dwayne Barry storyline, Scully's disappearance, and her return in one breath, these are now fan favorite episodes, and they gave Gillian Anderson room to rest and recover, while also deepening Scully's arc in ways that made her character even more important. Her abduction becomes a recurring plot point. It feeds into the larger government conspiracy arc, and suddenly, Scully's not just the skeptic, she's part of the mystery. And here's the wildest part. Anderson gives birth to her daughter and comes back to the set within 10 days. She's filming One Breath, which is already a heavy, emotional episode. Scully's in a coma, Mulder's racked with guilt, and the show slows down to this beautiful, surreal tone. And Anderson? Well, she's so good. She's raw, vulnerable, but still composed. You can see the fatigue in her performance, and it makes the whole episode hit even harder. That episode is now considered a classic, and remember, she filmed it 2 weeks after childbirth. That's unreal. That whole arc, the abduction, the return, the aftermath, ends up becoming a core part of the X-Files DNA. It sets up Scully's fertility storyline, her connection to alien DNA, her role in the bigger conspiracy. And if Anderson had been replaced, none of that happens. And more importantly, the fans loved her. They felt the trust between Mulder and Scully. That partnership, it became the emotional anchor of the show. You could throw aliens, shapeshifters, killer bees, whatever you wanted at the screen, But if Mulder and Scully didn't work, the show didn't work. Gillian Anderson staying on The X-Files wasn't just a win for the show, it was a shift in how studios thought about accommodating real-life changes in their stars. It sent a quiet signal saying that maybe you don't need to panic and recast just because someone's having a baby. Shows since then, from Grey's Anatomy to Scandal, have figured out how to ride around pregnancies instead of treating them like a catastrophe. And Anderson? She went from near recast to Emmy-winning, Golden Globe-winning pop culture icon. And she did it by showing up, doing the work, and proving over and over again that Dana Scully wasn't replaceable. So yeah, the next time you watch those early seasons of The X-Files, just remember, behind that spooky fog and ominous music, there was a real-life story about fighting for your place even when the system wants to write you out. I loved The X-Files when it originally aired, and I still love it to this day, and I can't imagine what the show would have been like without Gillian Anderson as Dana Scully. Now how about you? Were you a fan of The X-Files? And if so, what was your favorite episode? I look forward to reading your comments. And if you like this video, please hit the like button, drop a comment, maybe share it with your Scully-loving friends, and hey, keep believing. And lastly, but definitely not least, I would greatly appreciate it if you would consider subscribing to my channel where I talk about the music, TV shows, and movies that I loved while growing up in the 70s, 80s, and 90s. Now as always, thank you so much for watching. Stay safe out there, and have a great day.